Hello again, this is CK Panel 7 with another commentary for Disney vs. non-Disney villains, this time the homemade submission round, or as I like to call, round 7.5, because from what I understand is that this round takes place sometime after round 7, I'm guessing. So yeah, with that, let us begin. First up, we have Lady Tremaine versus Simon Lenore from Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Interesting fight. Now, I may not have a whole lot to say on some of these fights because, you know, it's just the homemade submission and all. And some of the villains I'm not all that familiar with. Like, I've only seen parts of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. So, yeah, I don't know much about this villain. Although, I'm wondering, there's one Scooby-Doo villain I would like to see in this series, would be the Phantom Virus from Scooby-Doo and Cyber Chase. I think he'd be very neat to see. Alright. Now we have Murloc from Disney's DuckTales the Movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamb, versus Lord Malice from Happily Ever After. Good to see Murloc in this series, because I liked watching DuckTales when I was a kid, and the movie they did of it was really good. And Murloc just seems to be a pretty underrated Disney villain. But I think it's pretty cool. I mean, he's voiced by Christopher Lloyd, so, yeah. And as for Malice, I wasn't familiar with him at first until I watched the movie Happily Ever After, which is the non-Disney unofficial sequel to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Yeah, Lord Malice is the Evil Queen's brother. And, yeah, both Murloc and Malice do transform into flying beasts. You know, Murloc turns into the Griffin, and Malice turns into a dragon, I think. And Murloc turns Malice into stone. Now we have Maestro Forte from Disney's Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas versus Dr. Greed from The Fearless Four. Again, just like with Murloc, I'm glad you're using Forte, because he's another underrated Disney villain. He's probably my favorite Disney villain, another one of my favorites, somewhere in the top 30. Mainly because, yeah, he's voiced by Tim Curry. As for Dr. Greed, I'm not familiar with him. I've never seen The Fearless Four nor hear it. So I don't know anything about the movie or the villain. So yeah. From the looks of it though, he looks like some evil musician, I guess. I don't know. And now here we have a CGI fight. Lotso Huggenbear from Disney Pixar's Toy Story 3 versus Z-Bad from The Magical Roundabout, also known as Dougal. Nice to see Lotso. He's another... You know, just like with Galaxar back in round 5, it's interesting to see another fairly new villain in the series. As for Z-Bat, I've never seen The Magical Roundabout, but from what I hear is that some people say it's not that good of a film. I don't know. And Toy Story 3, it was a good movie, although it was kind of depressing and all. You know, with Andy going to college and leaving his toys behind. Even though he does give them to another child, but it's still a tearjerker of a film. And Lotso is what I would like to consider an unexpected villain, because he's a teddy bear. I mean, you don't expect that to be a villain. And there's been many cases of that, of unexpected villains. Like, in Disney's The Wild, you have Kazar, a wildebeest. I mean, he's a wildebeest. You don't expect that to be a villain. And the same with the movie Rio. The main villain in that is a cockatoo named Nigel. So yeah. Very unexpected. Okay, Morgana versus the Spirit of the Book from the Care Bear movie. In a castle, Nicholas and the Spirit look through the cauldron and see that Morgana has obtained the Triton and decide that she's a threat and decide to confront her. Now, I don't know anything about this villain because I don't have an interest in the Care Bears, although I think I did watch some of the TV series when I was a kid, when it used to come on Toon Disney Channel. But of course, I've never seen the movies, like this one, for example, so I don't know anything about Nicholas or the Spirit of the Book. And as for Morgana, I've only seen bits and pieces of The Little Mermaid 2. I've never seen the whole thing. Although I do know it's about Ariel's daughter, Melody, who dreams of the ocean, which is funny because it's like the opposite of her mother, because in the first movie she dreamt of the land. And Morgana, she is, like I mentioned before, Ursula's younger sister, but doesn't have as much experience with magic as Ursula does. Interesting fact, though, Ariel is the only Disney princess to ever have a child. I mean, unless you count Nala from The Lion King, because she has Tiara, and she's kind of a princess in a way. So yeah. Alright, and finally we have Gantu from Disney's Lilo and Stitch, or in this case Stitch the movie, versus Megatron from the Transformers animated series, or in this case the movie. Okay, Megatron views the war that's been going on and decides to make his appearance and decides to attack the villains. And our first villain is Gantu, which I'm also pretty glad to see because he's another very underrated Disney villain. So I'm glad to see him in this series. Because I do like Lilo and Stitch, and the TV series and the movies of them. And I just don't care for Transformers much, so Megatron I'm not crazy about. My brother has like an obsession over Transformers, and I just don't get it. I don't care much for it. Although I did like the movie, though. At least the first movie I liked. It was a good movie with the computer animation they did for it. So yeah. And so, the Decepticons take what's left of Megatron to Mach, who then upgrades him to Galvatron. You know, when I first watched this Homemade Mission Run, I wasn't sure if it was canon to the storyline, but then after watching Part 2, I realized it is canon, because you see some of the villains from this submission round in Part 2, like Forte and Megatron and Lord Malice, so yeah. So yeah, this was an interesting round, even though it's the Homemade Submission round, but it was still interesting. So, yeah, I'll be bringing up the commentary to round 8, so this is CK Prime 07, and have a nice day.